This YCN segment is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist.
Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stell, Rob Taylor, and we continue with the baseball and the Red Sox looking up at everybody in the American League East, but especially the Tampa Bay Rays, who won again last night over the Orioles. Red Sox head down to Tampa for 3, and they're already 7.5 games back, 18 games in. I know we got a lot of season left, but you're already that far back. And we know these Rays, they're not going to give up. They won 90 games last year. I mean, are we in... Like you said, it's almost panic mode now. It maybe already is.
Yeah, going into this Yankees 2-game series, it was going to be one or the other that was going to sort of maybe start to pull out of the deep, steep dive that both teams were in. And clearly after last night's win, this was probably the highest quality win for the Yankees last night. They looked sharp, and the Sox just continue to sort of stumble. I guess I'm starting to worry, it's going to be a sort of circular firing squad amongst the Boston teams, and who's going to be to blame. I think, again, my friend Ben Sherrington, who used to manage the Red Sox.
Was GM for a couple of years under the World Series winning
and
team.
it was a what have you done for me lately? And I'm thinking that Alex Cora and Dave Dombrowski are going to be in that kind of a situation if this run continues. Obviously, the big name talents with the big contracts, even though they're the guys that are laying the eggs on the field, they're not gonna get fired. It's going to be these other guys. So, we'll hope they can turn it around and salvage a respectable season. But boy, all signs are pointing to a really steep nosedive for the Red Sox.
And you mentioned the Yankees. Both these teams obviously struggling to start the season. Yankees still doing a little bit better. And it's kind of a contrasting styles right now, or teams, because you have all your players basically healthy for the Red Sox. I know Benintendi was banged up, and Jackie Bradley Jr. sat a couple nights. But they're both healthy, teams healthy, and they're underperforming. The Yankees have a lot of injuries. I mean, they have an entire team, it seems like, on the injured list. But they're hoping they'll return and play better. So which situation would you rather have? You've got all your healthy guys, but they're not performing, or at least the Yankees kind of have some light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I think the Yankees had 7 or 8 players on the DL right now, where the Red Sox seem to be healthy, but are just not putting it together. So I guess if you're asking me which I'd take right now, I'd rather have the guys that are on the field putting it all together and playing well, more so than having a healthy team that is laying eggs on the field.
Right, because even though the Yankees are hurt and unhealthy, I mean, they had obviously DJ LeMahieu last night stepping up. They still have Aaron Judge. They still have players. And Paxton, that was the best start that nobody's had a better start for the Red Sox than James Paxton.
Yeah, he was putting it together really with 2 pitches, a fastball and a cut fastball. I watched that game last night, and he was just making them look silly. And it was an impressive start, probably his highest quality start of the season. And Sale, although flashes of what we know he's capable of, but was just not locating the balls where he needed to. Well, like I said earlier, he did seem to have his velocity back, but no consolation prize there, because he just does not have it going on this year. And for the most part, the rest of the starting lineup has really been flat. Even last night, the bullpen looked kind of off its game.
Which hasn't happened too often. So lastly, 2 questions here. If they don't snap out of this by April, say they end up scuffling around a few games under 500, I mean, what can be done? Is there anything? Or do they just have to play the players that are out there and just hope they'll turn it around?
It's Boston, and we do have the sort of satisfaction of the 4 championships in the last 15 years. So I think we've got that to sort of, slate us a little bit in terms of, patience. But it's Boston. We expect we're going to be competitive. We expect we're going to be a good team through the season. So as I said earlier, it's going to be kind of interesting to see if they continue to play like they're playing now. It's going to be Cora and Dombrowski and those kind of guys that are going to be on the line. And I don't know. I mean, it's just like, what is it? It's the same group of guys for the largest part.
Yep.
And what is different this year? What is it? What can you put your finger on? It's kind of a mystery to me. And, it's a concern. I'm sure they'll turn it around. I think they'll start playing better. But it may be too little too late, to really have this terrible start to the season where they're really way, way, way back now. And it's going to take a lot to come
Right,
roaring back.
and that's the truth, because even though it's only April, it's only 18 games, these games still matter, just like the ones in September. They all count the same. So it might be a little too late, but see if they can turn it around. They got Evaldi pitching tonight against the Yankees, and 3 in Tampa with Erod, Porcello, and Price rounding it out before they come back home. So we'll see if they've made some progress next week when we're back here. We'll take a break, come back, talk some Celtics. They're looking to go up 2-0 against the Indiana Pacers. We'll take a break. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.